Boss, I think this is our first time having a conversation, right?
Right? Like on the record type convo.
Wow. Wow. Maybe it's, the brand new energy of you living in Los Angeles and forgetting about all of us here in New York.
Don't ever say that. Don't ever say that. Don't do me like that.
I'm so happy that you're here.
Happy to be here.
Congratulations on the Jackie.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support.
Yeah, no, this is exciting. Of course, hearing the song, enjoying it, for a lot of people who are watching you evolve, right? I think this evolution is beautiful to see, and just giving us a range of songs. Were you concerned at all? Like, okay, there's a little bit more melodic, there's a little, it's got that vibe to it. Or are you enjoying the process?
Yeah, no, I wasn't concerned at all. I think, like my core fan base that's been following me, they're not really surprised. My last album, Milky Way, was trending a little more melodic in a sense. And then it's just about pushing myself out of the comfort zone. So even if I do have a hint of that feeling, I kind of embrace it, If it feels like, oh, man, am I going too far this way, too far that way? It's like, nah, you're supposed to feel that way, and you're kind of supposed to overcome that. And that's pushing your boundaries. That's pushing your artistry. So I actually kind of look forward to that feeling.
How did the song come about? Break it all down. The name, the song.
Yeah.
How did Cole, Lil TJ get on there?
Yeah,
What
I was working with Cole on the off season, and he had like these certain hours every day because he's like hooping and he's like family man and then he's like rapper and
we're
executive.
so proud of him.
Yeah, shout out to Cole. We're proud of him too. So we were working on, I believe it was Let Go of My Hand. We was cutting vocals to that, and we finished. We had like 30 minutes left in the session, and he's just like, man. You want to try something new? You want to try something different? Like, let's throw something on the board before we get out of here. So I'm like, all right, cool. He's like, well, T-Minus sent me a pack. Let's go through these beats, And then, like, the first beat he played was the Jackie. And we just, like, kind of gave each other that look like, yeah, pull that one up. So shout out to K Quick, my engineer. He was there. He pulled it up. And we just got to it. And he was kind of pushing me that whole week to, like, not write nothing. It was all about, like, just creating off a feel. Create off whatever the first melody or the rhythm or whatever you find, and then, like, we can fine-tune the words after. So the whole song came like that. He kind of just, like, freestyled the hook. I pretty much, like, freestyled my verse, like, kind of, like, bar by bar. And then afterwards, I was sitting there explaining to him. That's how we ended up on the title, The Jackie, which is after the Jackie Robinson Parkway, which takes you from Queens to Brooklyn. And I'm telling Cole the story of, like, growing up in Queens and, that New York summer thing where you might meet, like, a girl from another borough and you end up going to her hood to link with her on a random day. And it's like, maybe you're going to Brooklyn or the Bronx and it's, like, 15 dudes on her block and they're all looking at you like, who's this dude? You know what I mean? One dude might be, like, her first boyfriend. One dude might be, like, her neighbor who's crushing on her. Like, me and my homies got stories like that growing up, like getting our tires slashed, like all types of.
Has this happened to you?
Yeah. Yeah, I got my tires slashed in the Bronx once, me and the homies.
Wait.
Just going to see some girls and some dudes in her building just wasn't feeling us.
So if she heard this song, would she know that there might be a reference to that experience?
She might, but this is like 12 years ago. This is like so long ago,
Right.
But I feel like it's a relatable summer New York story. You always meet people from like different boroughs, whether it's at like a day party or a club, and then you go to link up and you're like, oh, I'm not in friendly territory at all.
The energy's off.
Yeah.
I think we should detour.
Exactly. So, we had to get TJ's perspective. He had to come rep the Bronx for us.
And so how did that happen? Did you just send it to him or did he actually come to the studio with you and Cole?
Yeah, no, we sent it to him. We were still working on the off season, but we did that record and we were like, it was like we got to get TJ on, like his voice, his cadence, like it just fit the record, It's like it's bright, it's bouncy, it's youthful. And he slid all over it. He sent it right back.
And I feel like when you were shooting the video for it, there was so much buzz behind it. Because that's how I first learned that there was something going on. The pictures came out, right? I didn't know. I was like, oh, I wonder what they're working on. But it felt like there was such great momentum already before it got announced what it was going to be. How was it just, in the drop top, you and Cole riding around? Were people noticing you all hanging out and stopping you? Because it's like, wait a minute, did I just see Boss Cole? What was that
It was
like?
actually the first building we were parked in front of. They were just complaining. That's what you gotta love about New York. You know, that's what I really love about New York. Like, people don't care about celebrity for the most part. You know, like if you're blocking my parking spot, if you're blocking my building, if this is a no standing zone, like, I'm gonna let you know. I don't care if I see a whole
shooting what here?
Yeah, I don't care about this whole production going on. Like, wrap this up because I'm trying to get to where I'm going. So, you know, no offense taken, but it was cool. We got to shoot in Queens. It was actually both of our first times meeting TJ, and he just came through like super humble, super cool, like real chill. It was good. It was good to, like, you know, get some FaceTime with him, get to know him, and then you know, a little bit of tequila and a great shot later, and we were kind of done. Like,
and that was it.
Yeah, it was an easy shoot. It was a breeze. All energy.
Oh, and it must be nice after, well, we're not in the clear of this pandemic, but, you know, to be able to work again and, you know, do a video. How was that experience?
That's what it felt like. It was like coming back outside for
Right.
sure. You know, it was some of the things we take for granted. You don't usually necessarily look forward to the video shoot. Even though you know it's necessary, you know, but it's still kind of like work. It's not the same kind of fun as like creating the record. But it was a lot of fun that day. You know, it was like one of those things like, you know, I probably took this for granted, like being able to get around all the homies, friends, family, crack jokes, even during the downtimes on set when they're, you know, changing the lens or, you know, doing the lighting or whatever. Like, that stuff used to just be like bored out your mind. Like, can't wait to, how much longer we got? Like, asking your manager, like, bro, you think we could cut this out? Nah, but it was none of that. It was just like, it was just good to be around everybody.
I feel like it's the same right now, right? I was like, oh, boss is coming. Oh, I can't wait. Like, it was like, oh, I'm going to get my hair done, makeup. Like, I think it's a, you know, a reset of appreciation of these moments that, you know, because we're on the go and we're doing so much, we're humans. We're going to take things for granted,
right?
You know, so that's why I'm so curious about it, and I'm so happy that there was such positive vibes. You could tell the energy was beautiful.
Yeah, no, that was organic. It was organic, and like you said, you know, it's just about not taking these moments for granted.
Yeah,
you know, they were taken from us, and we're slowly getting them back. Right. So, you know, it's just about appreciating every moment.
The chemistry that you and Cole have, it just seems very seamless, right? Was it like this the minute you both worked together, or did it evolve into this moment? Because you're on 3 of his songs on off season. It's obviously not the first time you both have worked together,
right? But
it just seems very easy, the chemistry.
Somebody on Twitter pointed out that we have like 13 songs together now. Yeah, which is crazy. I think, you know, Cole was one of the first people I worked with when I started. You know, and he was part of my development and like, you know, mentorship in a sense, you know. So I think that plays a lot into our chemistry. And then also, like, we were friends before I started rapping. So I think just shared life experiences are naturally going to give you a chemistry, you know, like him coming to Queens, and obviously him and Eve's relationship, and Eve being my brother. And you know how it is with your siblings. Like, your siblings' friends are your friends, and you hang out and you party and, you know, you hoop at the park, and all those things came before rap, you know? So I think it just gave a natural trust and understanding, and it makes it easy to be in the studio and be like, you know, that last bar could be better. Or, you know, like, I like the first 4, but I kind of get bored by the second 4. They should go somewhere else. You know what I mean? You might hold your tongue if you're in there with somebody that you don't have that level of comfort with. But
you both are open with each other in that way.
Right, exactly.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's super easy. It's, you know, there's no egos. It's just trying to create the best song possible. I think we're just both faithful to the song at the end of the day, and like how to push each other to make it more special.
I love that. Faithful to the song, to the process, to having the best come out from that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So what is the Jackie going to be on? What's the album looking like? Is there a name? Is there a date? What's the energy?
You know, there's neither. I was really intentional this go around, just looking at things I've accomplished and things I want to accomplish. And I kind of set an intention on making some big records, you know, which I think prior to this, I probably just made my albums and then picked the singles. And this is like the first time I'm trying to like make singles, and it's fun. You know,
I like it.
I do enjoy it. Yeah, I do enjoy it. Like, I have an album I'm working on. Obviously, it's just kind of early to, you know, I'm not really rushing that process, but I do have a single coming up with Gunna that I'm really excited about.
This is exciting.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep collaborating with people that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
you know, and keep pushing myself out my comfort zone and push other people out their comfort zone. I think that's where the magic happens at the end of the day. So that's just the space I've been in. Like, I'm just trying to challenge myself to craft these songs.
How was it with Gunna? Was this a call? Was this a text, DM?
Yeah, no, this was a few people connected us. Shout out to Tim Glover, who's my A&R at Interscope. And then the homie Barry from Since the 80s. They manage like JID and Nerf Gang. So they're really like our Atlanta, you know, connection. They're the Atlanta wing of Dreamville. So they all helped make that happen. It was like mid-quarantine, so it was like emailing back and forth. But it was really, I sent it over and I got it back like 2 days later, and he snapped. I was like, this is incredible. Like,
have you both spent time just conversation-wise or just getting to know each other? Or is it just more of a respect of the art and the work?
Yeah, I think it's just respect, you know, and the song, honestly, I think the song is what is the most important thing. The song has to inspire. I never want to work with people if it's not like mutually inspired, you know. And then obviously with Cole and Thug have a great relationship.
I love that.
Yeah. It's like the odd couple of hip hop, right?
I love it though. It's beautiful.
It really is, yeah. It
right?
really is. And he you know, he's somebody I could tell inspires Cole a lot and like pushes him out his comfort zone. So, you know, it's cool. It's just embracing our peers and trying to create the best, you know, music we can with them.
Who else do you want to get into studio with? And it doesn't have to happen this moment while, you know, you're in this creative zone, but eventually you're hoping, hey, I hope I could work with them at some capacity. It could be a producer, director, engineer.
Yeah.
It could be anybody that, you know, you admire their work.
I think like Pharrell is probably when I listen to my music and my sound, he's probably the biggest source of inspiration as far as, you know, growing up on the Neptunes and Nerd and then all the artists he produced for, you know. So I would love to get in with Pharrell. There's a lot of African artists I'd like to work with. Wizkid, you know, love Wizkid, Rema. I don't know. There's so many people I'm a fan of. I love collaborating. You know, I love collaboration. Snow, I like what Snow Allegra's doing. Super
Beautiful
dope.
Voice.
It's like the list is really long, but you know, there's just so many people I want to work with.
You know what I enjoy when I'm listening to you right now is hearing you being a fan of music, you know, of the art, of artists creating. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do you feel that excitement dealing with this pandemic has even gone to a different level? There's a different sense of appreciation of artistry and creating music?
Yeah, and I think it's like, you know, we all share a space in a sense, and we cross paths, and all these things happen, and you almost think like, oh, well, you know, maybe I'll holler at them next time, or you know, I'll see them around, or you know, I'll get management to connect us or something, and then you start to think like, with everything, it's not even just artists and collaboration. I think everything in life I'm approaching it like, man. You know, we might never have these moments. We might never get this moment again. You might never have this opportunity again. Even just to tell somebody that they're dope. You know, it's not always about, you know, a transactional thing. Like, I want a verse. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just want to be like, yo, you're really dope. Like, you inspire me. Like, just that much.
Yeah, without needing anything.
Right.
Just, I appreciate you.
Right. Some people inspire me. I don't even want to necessarily work with them. You know, I might not even see where the collaboration happens. It's just like, yo, you're dope. I love listening to your music. Like,
right. Is there an artist that you have listened to or music that every time you listen to it, either you get emotional or it just moves you a certain way and you're just like, damn, how does it do this to me every time?
I would say FKJ, French Kiwi Juice. Love FKJ. It's a good homie. He actually put me on this EP he put out called Lang Lang. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. But he's incredible because he can do it with just, you know, the instruments he plays. Sometimes it's not even the words. You know, you just feel the emotion. Yeah, that's music, you know, like he's just whatever. It could be like a guitar line he's playing or the piano or even a bass line, and you're just like in your feelings. I'm just driving around at night like, why do I feel all these emotions? So shout out to FKJ for sure.
I love it. Now, you've grown up in different places, Sudan, Paris, and Queens. One word to describe all these places as far as what they gave you.
That's a great question. What they gave me, you know, they all gave me different things, you know. But I think New York was kind of the bow that tied them all together, being such an international city, and Queens especially is, you know, the most diverse county in the world. I read on Wikipedia. I hope y'all not lying, because I know people get to just.
Yeah, we don't know what to believe on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I got it.
But I did read that on there. You know, I think Sudan gave me a certain like third world humility, I would say, which I love because it makes me appreciate all this stuff so much more. Just having a place and a people to contrast my own experiences with, you know what I mean, or to go back and to see how they view the things I've accomplished, even when I don't view them the same. And then France, obviously, as far as music goes, Europe, I think, is very forward thinking in a lot of ways. And my older brother, DJ Moma, he spent more time in Europe than I did. You know, when we left, I was about 7 or 8, and he's 10 years my senior. But he was always playing European music around me, you know, like UK garage, French house, you know, dubstep, like a bunch of things like kids my age growing up in Queens weren't being exposed to. But here I am all these years later, and I can make a song and I can hear those influences. You know, I can hear why those sounds or those textures appeal to me. And a lot of that is rooted on some of the music I grew up listening to.
That's beautiful. I love that. And now I think hearing that, when I listen to your music and watch this evolution and enjoy the process, it will all make sense, right?
Right.
And I think it's taking your fans on this journey with you.
Sometimes I think that's the best way I can tell my story, because it's kind of convoluted, you know, being Sudanese, American, and born in Paris. And it's like, it's not necessarily, you know, mega relatable to the average listener. So it's not so much in words that I can tell the story and explain it to you that you're gonna relate, but I think it's in sound, where I can pick certain sounds and sonics and just my ear, and that's like it's like a little breadcrumb, like a little, you know what I mean, just a little clue of like who I am and why these sounds inspire me.
We are enjoying learning about you. This is exciting. And to see you just, you know, enjoy the moment, not focusing on what this album's gonna be, but just going with it, whatever the vibe is, just putting great songs that you feel good about.
Right.
I like this. It's good.
I want to make people feel good.
Yeah, no,
you know,
it's important.
We've been down a bit.
It's been tough.
It's time to, you know, pick the spirits up. Just have some fun with it.
Let's talk about your brother Ebe, who's the president of Dreamville, also Cole's right hand, and we love Ebe. How has that been for you, because he's your brother, and, you know, have you had to deal with the fact that people expect you to get the red carpet treatment because of his success? He's extremely successful, and they expect you just to have everything laid out for you when it's not the case.
Right. It's probably
Do you have to prove yourself
more? It's
more?
probably the opposite. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, I think now we're past that point, but, you know, earlier on, you don't want to be a homer. It's not like, yo, is Boz dope because, like, we rock with him because he's the bro? Is he, like, really dope? But I think there were like a few moments early on, and I'll shout out Salam Remy and No ID. There were like two, I would say, completely objective people in the situation that took a liking to my music very early on, you know. And I think I saw a bit of a change there, you know what I mean? Because around that time, Cole was playing Born Sinner for a lot of people before it came out. And he would go, and I remember he said he went to play it for Salam, and then he was like, yo, like, there's this kid from Queens I'm rocking with, and like he played him a couple of my records, and he was like, you know, Salam's really like rocking with you, like he's really interested. And then I remember going to sit with No ID, and I was there for that one, and I played like 2 songs from my mixtape, and then I was gonna play Lit. I was like, you know, that's my ace in the hole, because that one has Cole on it. I'm like, this one's going to, like, really take it out the ballpark, you know? I'm like, I'm sitting here with No ID. Like, I remember playing the first 2 songs, and I got up to play Lit, and he was like, don't play me no more music. Like, what y'all trying to do? And I was like, oh, you know? And then I think from there, it was like, all right, like, let's push forward. But, you know, at the time, Born Sinner wasn't out yet, so it wasn't like, you know, Cole was going to get a label off of one album, you know. So we just kind of wrote it out. I was on tour with him. He took me out to Europe, was opening up the shows. And then, you know, Born Center came out and did what it did. And everyone was lining up to give him a label at that point. So I remember, I think we were in Germany, and he came on a tour bus. He's like, yo, it's going to be Interscope. We're going to do the deal.
Oof, what? I love this.
I was like, hey, let's do it. Let's ride out.
Two things that stand out to me when you were sharing that. Did you ever have a chance to tell Salam and No ID what those two moments meant for you?
I don't think they even know, no. I never told them. You know, if they ever see this, shout out to y'all, apart from all the legendary contributions to the culture. That was definitely a moment, especially that early on. You know, I didn't have nowhere near as much, you know, self-assurance or confidence in my own music. It was very early, you know. It was very, like, early in the process of my artist development. So for two guys that we all look up to and that are, you know, so highly regarded, for them to kind of give me that stamp, I think it really lit the fire under our whole team.
And then the second point is, I think that goes to show the amazing person that Cole is. Early on in his journey,
yeah, he was playing my music.
Play your songs.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do that, because we see that happen all the time when artists are on the come up. They feel like, okay, I can't really focus on anybody's work right now because I have to, for whatever their reasons are. It doesn't make them a bad person, but I think this goes to show the selflessness behind Cole that we all thought was there, but hearing this is like, of course that would happen.
Yeah. Nah, Cole always had the vision for this, you know. He always had the vision for this, and, you know, he's done everything he can to put us on, so, you know.
I love this. This is great. Now, let's talk about Ebe really quick as a brother.
Yeah.
What's a pet peeve that you have about Ebe?
Ebe, he don't cook nothing. He love to eat. He love to eat. I'm always the one barbecuing. You know, he, like, if there's a game on, yo, I'm pulling up. Like, it's never like, come to my house. It's like, yo, I'm coming. Let's eat something. So, you know what I mean? But he couldn't scramble an egg if you gave it to him.
Now, as a very successful businessman, something you admire about him?
He's good with people, but it's very genuine. Yeah. It's very genuine. You know, we're in an industry where it's a lot of disingenuous people and a lot of, you know, just attempts to gain favors.
Right.
He's the type to do a million favors and still, like, hesitate to call on a favor. I have to tell him that. I have to remind him that sometimes. Like, look, bro, you got to call on favors on our behalf. Like, you're the president of this label. Like, you know what I mean? Like respect your own power and the things that you've accomplished. But he's still, you know, very humble and just has very genuine relationships with people.
I love that. And I think that's why he's so well respected. And, you know, that's why we love him. He's not somebody when I have a conversation with is like, oh, it's work. Oh, God, here we go. It's like, we want more.
Right.
What's going on? Whatever it is you're doing, yes, we want to support it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll be having to remind him that, exactly. It's like, it's how people feel about you. We want to hear
from him and everything that he's doing and everybody that's involved with him.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
What's going to happen with Revenge of the Dreamers? Are we going to get a 4? Are we going to...
I mean, you know, ultimately it's not my call, but I absolutely believe that the energy is trending towards that. You know, I think what we did with 3, I wouldn't say surprise, but it's something we're very proud of at how it was received and the moment that was for our label and our crew. And I think it'd be foolish, you know, not to do another one.
Who makes that call so we can manifest this? Is it Ebe?
Yeah, Ebe, Cole, you know what I mean? Get them on the phone. Yeah. Get them on the phone. We need it.
I think also the last time hearing about what the process was,
right,
I think even made it even more special, right? Hearing that everybody was flying in and out. It was just like, you know, for people like myself who aren't there, who like to know the behind the scenes of the energy, that was really special, you know?
It was so
How
random.
was it for you?
It was incredible. Like, you know, it was times I didn't leave the studio for like 72 hours. Like, they had a shower in there and everything. Like,
I was gonna say no shower.
No. You can get right. You can get right. They had little like bean bags. You can catch a little cat nap, but you almost didn't want to miss a moment. You know, you didn't want to miss an opportunity. You didn't want to miss a collaboration. You didn't want to miss a verse. You know, you didn't want to miss like who's the next person that's gonna pop up,
right?
You know, unexpectedly and kind of just give you energy,
right?
It was like that, you know, like you just wanted to be in that environment.
Was there a memorable moment that you remember?
Wow.
I know it's hard because there was so much going on, but something that has stuck with you and you're just like, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, the Milwaukee Bucks came and catered a dinner for us, which was hella cool.
And why?
I guess they must have been playing the Hawks or something, and
they were just in town.
They were in town, and you know, I guess word got around of what we were doing, and they just came through squad deep, and they brought dinner for everybody, and they bounced around each room and like sat in on sessions and just gave us. I think we did Costa Rica. If you watch, there's a video of Costa Rica when we're recording it, and there's like a bunch of Bucks and former Bucks that are, you know, still in the league. I keep in touch with a bunch of the guys. They just came out, show love. I remember walking into the kitchen and like Akon was there with his whole family.
It was just family. Like, I love this.
It was just random. Yeah, it was like random, like wholesome moments. It wasn't like what you would think of, like some crazy rap, you know, party. It wasn't like that. It was just like a real family environment.
Have you ever seen that happen in any other session?
No, not like that. Not like that. What was it, like a 65 artists and producers? Just the way it was set up, it was just the energy was incredible.
That's special.
Yeah.
You know, when we hear stories about, oh, back in the day at this studio, Death Row Records, you hear about all these stories, but knowing that, you know, you have your own experiences and those moments to live on, I think
it's history.
Yes.
Yeah, it's history.
Yes,
I think it's the most, from what I read, it's like the most collaborative album to be nominated for a Grammy as far as the amount of artists and producers involved. So that's like, you know, that's a legacy.
Special.
Yeah.
Okay, so one word to describe each artist who's part of Dreamville, okay? Just one word to describe everybody. We'll kick it off with Ari. One word to describe Ari. Oh, I miss her, by the way. She's amazing.
Ari. Timeless. She's timeless. You know, her voice could have been Motown. It could have been, you know, 80s. It could have been 90s R&B. It could be now. And it's the future. So she's just timeless.
Cole.
I will say driven. He's driven beyond anybody I know. It's sick. I mean, the guy just went to Africa to play basketball. Like,
such a fan.
It's insane. Some of the ideas he has, I'm like, yeah, like go for it, bro. And then it's like, and then you really see like the work he puts in to make those things a reality. You know, including our label and the situation we're all in now. So I think he's just so driven.
Did he tell you before going to go play professional basketball, like, hey, boss, you know what? This is something I want to do? Or did you find out with, like, the rest of everybody else?
No, I knew. I almost went. I would have went if they didn't have, like, really strict lockdown. Protocol. I definitely would have went. But even, like, For Your Eyes Only, I started noticing when it used to be, and this is years back, it used to be like we do a show and go to the club, and then it's like, or we do a show and go to the studio, and then it was like I'd come back to his dressing room after he got off stage, and he's like doing dribble drills in his dressing room.
Boss,
and I'm like, all right, this guy's on some different type of time right now. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and head to the club, but like seriously, he's just sitting there like dribbling, sitting down 2 balls, like doing like Steph Curry dribble drills, you know, drenched in sweat from just his hour-and-a-half set that he just did. So I saw the gears turning then for sure.
Yeah. Just to hear you say that right now.
It's as crazy as it sounds. It's as crazy as it sounds.
Let's talk about the rest of the artists on Dreamville.
Yeah.
Go ahead and describe everybody else.
Jid, I would say, man, like just fluid. What he does with words, his flow, his cadence. You know, I'm a big fan of Jid. Earth Gang, Olu's spiritual. He's like my spiritual guide.
Ooh.
Yeah. Nah, Olu's real. He's real. Like, he's gonna give you some good energy at all times, and he's gonna tell you something you need to hear. You know.
What was the last spiritual guidance he shared with you?
Well, I don't think I followed him on this journey, but we were shooting the double XL cover, and I had on like this crazy jacket, and he was like, "You should take your shirt off and put on the chain," and I was like, I'm not gonna take my shirt off, but I appreciate like the boost of confidence, my boy. I appreciate that. He's the type to, you know what I mean? He's gonna give you that energy. He's gonna look at you in ways you won't even look at yourself.
Yeah.
You know? So shout out to Olu for that.
Oh goodness.
That
was good. I needed that. Did we forget anybody
else? Yeah, Ian Wild Great, who's the other half of Earth Gang, he's a party animal. If I can say that much. That's 2 words.
Party animal.
Yes, that's 2 words, but me and him have had some memorable moments on tour. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
You know, when I need somebody to go there with me,
right,
I know I can count on him, and vice versa.
Yeah.
We call each other 2 Rick Jameses. That's our secret. That's our secret group. we want to work on it on a mixtape called 2 Rick Jameses, and it's just me and him wilding out.
Party animals.
Yeah. Kaz. What can I say about Kaz?
1 word to describe Kaz.
Hungry. He's hungry, and like you hear it in his tone and his voice and his raps, you know, and the way he speaks on his upbringing and provides his perspective as like a South Central cat. You know, those are things that I grew up a world away from that. But I listen to him and I get it, you know.
There's an appreciation for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure. Like you just hear it in his voice how much he wants it. Luke is just cool, man. He's just a cool dude. Like he's he's the second coming of Marvin, as we call him.
Just easy
just
going,
his swag. Yeah, and even his swag, like he's all if you gotta see like his whole aura. Shout out to Luke, man. He's just a cool ass dude. I gotta just put cool on him. And then Omen, that's a good one. I'll probably say like just wisdom. There's a lot of wisdom in his raps. There's a lot of things I catch that he says and writes about that I'm like, damn, you know, like there's just a lot of wisdom and just potency in his lyrics.
I think hearing wisdom and just all that input is so important now. As I've grown, the importance of listening to experiences and wisdom from, you know, anyone that's gone through something is important. You can learn something from everyone.
Right, for sure. And even if you're not going through it,
right?
You know, just to gain that perspective.
Oh, yeah. Are there any collectives? Because I don't want to say just a label, because I think it's more than just the business transaction.
You know, I'm from Queens. I got to go with G Unit first and foremost.
Okay.
I got to go with G Unit. What they did, you know, for the borough and the energy that we all got to live through, you know, those moments, I got to go with G Unit for sure. And then, you know, there's a bunch.
Who are some of your other favorites?
Low key, like Digital Underground.
Listen, Shock G's passing really rocked me this year.
For real.
Be honest.
R.I.P. Shock G. He's so ahead of his time. That's mainly the thing with them is like, even when I listen back now, like the sound was so ahead of his time. And I'm glad that that's something I was like ingesting in my younger days, you know, because you learn how to listen to music and then you learn how to create, you know, from the people you listen to. So I know they've influenced me 100%.
Oh, that was a good one. That was good. Rapid fire questions about Queens. Okay? It's fun. It's fun.
Let's do it.
All right, boss. Best slice of pizza in Queens.
Ooh, there's 2 I gotta go with. Romeo's Pizza in Fresh Meadows and New Park Pizza in Howard Beach.
Okay. All right. What's your go-to spot to get an outfit in Queens? Everything has to be about Queens right now.
The Crate. Shout out the Crate.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 most influential Queens artists.
Nas, 50, Mobb Deep, Run DMC, LL Cool J.
3 ways you could tell someone's from Queens.
3 ways you could tell someone's from Queens. That's a good one. That's a great one. I'm trying to think of what differentiates us from the other boroughs.
Like somebody meets you and they're like, no, I'm from Queens. You're like, let's see.
Usually all right. If the address is like a place or a road or anything but street, you kind of know they're from Queens because we got like 185th Street, 185th Place, 185th Road, 185th everything. That's usually a dead giveaway.
Okay, that's one way.
That's one way. Let's see. What else is a dead giveaway that you're from Queens? Like, you know, I would speak on attire, but I feel like New York as a city, we embrace a lot of the same gear. You know, obviously if you're a Mets fan, but I'm not even a Mets fan, so you know what I mean?
Right.
It's hard for me to say.
Right.
A third one is tough to come up with. I would say how friendly they are with their local deli. That's a dead giveaway. You know, we used to do breakfast, lunch, and dinner at Hillside Deli. Shout out Hillside Deli, 179th Street. Yeah, and then probably if they drive, that's another one.
Okay.
Because the rest of y'all don't drive.
Okay.
We do some driving because we got some business in Long Island.
Got it.
You know?
Got it.
So we're early drivers.
Okay. What is one thing about Queens that no other borough can top?
I think the diversity. You know, I think it's a beautiful thing to just hit one block and have, you know, a Puerto Rican spot, a Bangladeshi spot, a Jamaican spot, a Chinese spot, you know, a Mexican spot. And you can get all of that in Queens. It's just so diverse. That's one of the most inspiring parts of the borough to me. It's just the different cultures, sounds, smells, foods, languages that you're going to hear.
What do you miss the most about Queens? Because you relocated to LA for work.
Right.
Right? I mean, Queens is always going to be home to you, but something that you miss that you just can't find that feeling anywhere else.
The park. I miss like going to the local park, playing basketball, or just hanging out on like a hot summer day, like just hanging out outside, you know? Just pulling up, seeing who's there, you know, seeing like what they on, what they gonna be on later. Like that whole our social lives used to kind of revolve around that, you know, and I guess, you know, you grow up and you start doing different things, but I do kind of miss that, just sitting on the park bench.
Yeah. The simplicity of it all.
It was real simple, yeah.
The simplicity of it all. And what would you say is the biggest misconception about Boss?
The biggest misconception about me. I don't know what the popular, like,
misconception is.
Yeah, I'm really not sure. I don't know if I'm like tapped in enough to what people say about me. I don't think people know how outside I am, though. I think they associate Dreamville with like a very, you know, I mean, we're Cole-led. Cole is kind of off to his own,
right.
You know, but I'm very much outside and amongst people at all times.
Party animal.
I draw my energy from that, and that's like worldwide. You know, you can go to a lot of cities in this world,
right? And
they'll be like, "We seen Boss and his boys in this very spot." You know, they'll have some stories about us.
Oh, Boss, I can't wait to find out the stories about you.
Yeah.
Who's got the best stories about you? Out of everybody that you know, friends-wise.
Friends-wise, who's got the best stories? Probably my manager, Derek.
Yeah, we need to get Derek in here and ask
him. You gotta get Derek in here.
Some of those
because he's stories. Like, you know, he's damage control, he's crisis management. You know, he's all of those things when we're on road.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Come back.
So yeah, definitely get Derek on the horn for that one.
I love that. Well, Boss, before you run out of here, we do a couple fun segments on my show.
Cool.
And they're very simple. And I just want you to tell me how you feel about it, okay? So the first segment is I'm over it. So something that you're sick and tired of dealing with. Like for me, it's all the traffic again. So I'm completely over it. Is there something that you're tired of? And whatever that is, you're going to end it with I'm over it.
Politicizing this vaccine situation, I'm over it. I understand and I totally respect people that choose not to, but it's weird that it's become this political thing in our country, and to see like politicians act so childish over it on TV every day, you know, while people suffer and try to get their lives back in order and get their money back and, you know, their friendships and their families. It's just like, I'm over it.
I'm over it.
I'm over
it. Okay, this is swipe left. Basically, some dating deal breakers for you. What would cause you to swipe left on someone?
Swipe left. That's
someone
a good
going
one.
through your phone. Someone.
Oh yeah, I mean, okay, yeah. Someone going through your phone is a complete swipe left. Throw the phone away. You know, like there's nothing left to be said there.
How about someone who's lied to you?
Or
are you forgiving? I feel like maybe you have some understanding.
I'm forgiving. I think everyone lies a little bit. It's unrealistic to expect people to be perfect, and it depends the intent behind the lie. You know?
Yeah, I like this, boss. We gotta be understanding.
Right. You know, as long as it's not malicious and manipulative, you know. But sometimes, you know, it's a healthy lie.
Right. Healthy lie. I'm such a fan right now. And the last one is Friday flowers. So on my show on Fridays, I like to give flowers to people. So I make it a point that, you know, we should all give flowers to people that we care about while they're here to enjoy it. So who are some people you would love to give flowers to?
Wow. You know, my brother Ebe, I got to give Ebe his flowers. Mm-hmm. I got to give Cole his flowers if I don't tell them, you know, how much I appreciate them enough. Those dudes definitely changed the course of my life. Yeah. I mean, those are, I guess, the main two that come to mind because those aren't conversations we have often, you know, like, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Well, I had such a great time having this conversation with you.
Thank
and I can't believe this is our first time doing this. I appreciate you,
We got to do it again.
Can't wait to see you, and I'm excited for this journey.
I
feel like you're in a great place. I feel like, as strange as it sounds, I feel like it's still all getting started.
I feel that way, too.
Good.
That's an exciting feeling.
Yes, it is.
It never gets old.
Yeah. Enjoy all of this. Come back soon. Don't forget, you know, about us in New York while you're in LA, you know, making food for Ebe since clearly.
I know, right? Get the barbecue grill started.
I mean, come on. But we miss you here always. And if you are in town and you want to come through the Summer Jam, you know, this is home.
I'm in there.
Before, who knows what's going to happen for the rest of the year. Things get shut down.
I got to catch all these moments.
Right. This might be the last time we're outside for a while. So
oh, God.
It's so great to see you, boss.
Likewise.
Of course.